So in this example, I have my example clock set up, and if we watch this play, it's going to go through kind of slowly, but there's going to be rectangles that come across my screen. And what I want to show here is how to save your frames from processing so that you can turn them into a short clip or short film. And it's fairly straightforward. Here in my example, just real quick, I have seconds moving across the screen back this way. Here are my minutes, and this is the hour, and the hour just shifts down as it proceeds through the time of day. And I have it also set to 1 frame rate in setup, so that way it's not super jittery across the screen. One inside the function for frame rate means it goes at 1 frame per second, which aligns to our clock. So to save it as a series of frames, at the very last point of your draw loop, so here's my draw loop, at the very last section or very last line before your curly bracket, you do save, capital F frame, and then you do parentheses. And inside quotes, you write frames, which this creates a new folder in the area that you've saved it in, and then you do number, 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 which then means it's going to save a series of digits, and then .png, and that's the file type. And then you close out your element here. You can also quickly get to this by going to Tools, Movie Maker, and you'll see exactly how to write this out. And you can't copy and paste directly from here, but this is where you can see how it's written. This is save frame. And what this does is it saves each frame of your animation or of your processing sketch as a separate image. So I'm going to press stop real quick, and if I go to Sketch and Show Sketch Folder, this will show me that I have frames, and it'll show me all of my frames proceeding through since I started recording. And there might be a couple of overlaps here from a previous recording that I had, but it's the basic idea. So what I'd really recommend doing is saving a full minute or like a minute and a half of your image. And what you can do is if you then go to Tools, Movie Maker, you can choose the folder that it's in. So when you go to choose, you double click on it, and it's not going to show you anything inside of it once you're there. You just want to do open, and then it sets it to that folder. And what I'd recommend is you could do it as 1 frame rate per second. If you do it faster, I think the default is 30, it will save it as a much quicker film, which is okay, but if you're trying to demo what your clock actually looks like, do it at 1 frame per second. And then create movie. And it'll take a second, it'll ask you where you want to save it, so I'll say clock 2, and it's going to process. While that's processing, let's just come back over here. There you go. And it has created a MOV file, which I then can use in, we're going to look at these in class, but you can also use this pretty quickly for any sort of project you're working on. Like, if you wanted to create something in processing that's dynamic, you could have it as the background of one of your animations or films, however you want to use it. But you've got a lot of options. The other option you can do is you can take your frames, and I'm going to double click inside Adobe Media Encoder, or I can go to the add source. And what I'm going to do is navigate to my document, so I know it's on my desktop, and Jacob Clock and frames. And I can click on the first one, and it's going to recognize that it's a file sequence, which is great. And it's going to add it to here. And I can click on the text here, choose H.264, just like how we did with After Effects. And you can export it as a movie this way. And it'll keep everything the same. We don't need audio unless you wanted to add in audio. And one thing you'll notice is you may need to change your frame rate down to 1 frame per second. Otherwise, it will go pretty fast. So you'll see here, it doesn't actually give you that option. So this is, you could bring it from one to the other, but we could try it at 10 and see what it looks like. I don't think it's going to be exactly what you want, but let's just try it. It goes very fast. You could also export as a GIF. That'd be one other way to work. See, it's just way too fast. But that's totally fine. That's also something interesting just to look at.